Hello everyone and welcome back once again to Gary Grigsby's War in the East. I'm here still in August 16th, and I remember I was still supposed to do some reorganization, but to be honest I kind of forgot which reorganization that is. Not to be a party pooper here or anything, but yeah. Anyway, there are some things that I still want to do. I guess I can get the Croatians over up in here. Let's actually see if I can assign some support units to some of these guys, because I actually... like, this obviously is a weak link in my defenses, and preferably I'll beef them up a bit. Like this. 100 tanks. Now, that seems to look a bit better. They will still probably also attack there. But I think... obviously, these guys are going to be in danger too, especially here, like at this encirclement, because it will be harder for them to get all the way down here. No support units to assign. So I can see this becoming a bit of a problem, but there ain't much to do about that. They will also attack these guys, obviously, at 18th. Let's, I guess, give them some flak. It probably doesn't help that much. I guess they got the 17. We'll have to see how that goes. Like, this is across the rivers. They'll likely strike there. It's not as if I can put another unit in there. Although, I guess... oh, this is so bad. Nope. Ah, crap. Ah, fuck me. That's a disaster. Let's do it like this then. Yeah, fuck that. They might be able to hold their own. No need to go in there. Well, that's about it. Do I have anything here? I don't think I do. I'm just gonna take a quick peek down here as well. I don't think there are any forces there that are activated or otherwise positioned. Anything? No, 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 they're not. I'll just do that and keep them in there as part of that unit. Interesting turn once again, and we'll see what the Soviet side brings. I mean, obviously, we're now trying to, you know, encircle Soviet units around here continuously. Stuff like that. The area around Stalingrad is still a big hot pocket. And with most of my mobile units in 4th Panzer being tied up there, that's also a problem. I really need to get the 6th moving, but now that I got these encirclements and stuff like that, the 6th Army is still busy. At least I've cleared out the Don pocket, so whatever was busy there can now move along. Of course, we created this new pocket supposedly with those 2 units, but we're gonna have to see how that goes. Game always gets stuck the moment you accidentally click or something like that. which I just did. It's never good. Come on, boy. There we go. And I've given up this river line here a little bit, so I could, you know, make it a bit easier to remove those pockets ultimately. They're again bombing quite heavily, I guess around the Chula area at this point. I don't know how many planes they get each turn, but I would think that 135 in terms of losses for 2 is still pretty reasonable from our side. Interesting that they get to move quite a bit still. They're not even doing that poorly on supplies if they're still in the orange, these guys. And these are in the red, sure. But these are, for example, still at 25. It's like still a huge number in that area. Alright, guess we'll hold for now. This is also, it's interesting that they attack with these guys as well. Hold range 146, so interesting push. Seems like they put some units up here now. I often don't really know what to think about these kind of secondary attacks. Obviously, it became a lot more dicey here with 88, me losing that roll, and them also kind of losing that roll, but yeah. They needed at least 88 plus, even then. Which makes it interesting. That's a good hold. Minus 36. Yeah. For now, at least. Judging by those numbers, they still have... Oh, they're attacking at Stalingrad. Huh. I mean, I like that a lot better, because... at Stalingrad itself, it's somewhat easier to defend, depending on how things go there. It's another hold that I'm very pleased at least for the moment. The thing is that they still have something there that can attack severely, and here too, so we're not out of the woods yet here. But... Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well, not that much. Wonder... I mean, they're pretty weak actually, given that if they make only 16, like, I'm happy they're attacking across the river there. That's great, but... Yeah, okay. One thing that's interesting is up here as they... Yeah, okay, wow. 112. Jeez. Please hold here. I'm not surprised they broke that open. But you can't have everything. Definitely not. I'm actually a little bit surprised that I've been holding here. I mean, I'm not saying I needed to retreat there, but this was looking rather weak. And oh wow. Okay. They've quite a bit of movement left, anyhow. Oh yeah, they broke that open. Indeed. Although it's kind of weird that they would be able to do that to grab this hex, because I still... Ah, crap. Fuck that. Really? Come on, man. Well, they cannot get out, technically. I mean, it costs them too much. We'll have to do some re-encirclement there. I mean, it's unsurprising ultimately that they got some stuff. Really? What kind of... Whatever, man. It's almost as if... I'm not going to say anything. Like, I'm actually fairly surprised that they get actually pretty decent rolls there on units that are actually encircled, but... Okay. We'll have to see how that goes. They do have a depot there. So there is that. Huh. Wow, they moved a lot. Holy moly. But I didn't even have any units there. How the... Like, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to teleporting. They seem to have somehow grabbed all of this, and then there's a unit here now which has 14 movement. And obviously they can't move from here to here and still have 14 movement. That's exceptionally strange. Like, it makes no sense for them to have that. Okay. So, obviously, at that point, the AI must still be using some kind of teleportation or whatever. But the weird thing is that this hex isn't... Yeah, I don't know what they are doing here. Like, this makes no sense. This. But whatever. Maybe it's just that even in this new game, like, I don't know, it still feels like the AI is using cheating methods. I'm not saying that it's supposed to be easy, but something like this, what's happening here, it just seems to be unexplainable. And it just feels cheap. Like, that's just my take on it. But okay, whatever. We'll have to deal with it. That's true. Yeah, it's just that, especially after playing that first game on challenging difficulty, where the teleporting enemy units was going quite rampant, I felt like I had hoped that on normal it would have been... I don't know. That the AI would feel more like it wouldn't use such tricks, but I guess it still feels like those are in there. Now, obviously, the AI has its flaws in itself, and that is definitely something that, in a way, needs to be tackled. But I think personally, I know it's very hard and very time consuming to do, but one of the things that I would really like to see is something like an AI slider, where it just means that the AI is playing better based on whether you put the slider higher or lower. And it's still that, you know, at least it uses the same rules as the human player does, but then you can make the AI play better or worse. So, you know, if you feel like having more of a challenge, you'll put the AI at a, you know, higher point, and the AI will play to, you know, higher capabilities. It will more often put their units in deep woods and things like that, or heavy woods, etc. You know, and it would be nice to actually see something like that instead of just more teleporting to make the game more difficult, because that's really also just what challenging is about. It's just giving the AI a bonus, giving them the ability to teleport, and it's just, it feels sucky to, even when you're winning, when the AI does weird stuff like that. I really tend to not like that. Whereas there's a lot of good things about this game, and you know, I just feel like, you know, seeing it be even greater would be amazing. Partisans, Dieppe raid. In the wake of the Dieppe raid, additional forces are required to face the threat in the west. Western Europe ground requirement increased to 475. We already seen this. Air offensive in Western Europe. Allies begin air attacks on Europe. Western Europe theater box air combat increases to medium. Wee, that's serious. 73, eh? I'm gonna have to balance that out. Definitely. They left this empty. Seems like this did hold, and this too. And this at least. Maybe they move with some armor, something like that. It's just really, really weird. I don't know. Okay, it's looking pretty reasonable, and it seems like I can do a few more encirclements too. Soviet numbers 3.4A3. They now have less total forces than the Germans. I really do wonder as well how many units the Soviets have in other theaters. I don't need to do air recon. All right. The don't. There's this bug again. Right, I'll be right back, because again, I don't think it's playable like this. I really... What the heck is wrong with this game? Like, I don't know when this started, but it's freaking annoying. I'll be back. The problematic part about it is that I haven't seen any other players experience this problem. So I really, really wonder what the issue is, since I mean, if other players they have this problem as well, I would get it. Maybe it's because I don't update the game in between, like while playing a game. So I haven't updated this game since its inception. Now I only lost one. They only lost one plane, of course. I haven't updated this game since the start, and it might be that that's the actual problem. I'll start in the north this time because I don't want to get into this problem again. I have the full division here. And then the 21st. This is the 206th. They're out. Now, I would need a full division in there. 21st is these guys. They cannot move up in there. I kind of need to do some kind of a switcheroo here, but okay. Next turn they might be able to move into that city. Do have this Finnish force. I can move it in here, and then I'll move them out because I kind of need to send them to Finland. They'll just stay there. One thing I would. Oh yeah, let's do that. Anytime I have the potential to encircle enemy forces, I will. They might try to attack there, but I'm like, oh, whatever. Just like this. That makes this position very weak, but the chance to encircle enemy forces, that's so beneficial that I think that is definitely worth taking. I might also try to do something similar to this rifle division, but I cannot be sure about that yet there. Interesting thing is that they abandoned Likoslavo, but I don't want to get in there myself because it would be too tough to deal with it. Let's just start repairing here. Seems like it's very hard for this unit to move through the area, which is pretty obvious. But I did get the rail line to Savzarovo here, and this is now moving up, so that's nice. I cannot make the entire rail line work, but I'll try to do as much as possible there as well. I'll have to think about that, but I think it's time also to I need to assign some support units here in order to try and get at them. Like, that's a pretty nice haul. How many units was it? 27,000 or something. It was quite a big hit. One thing that's pretty interesting is that you can clearly see that this line has severely weakened over time now. They used to have triple stacks there almost everywhere, and now it's quite a lot of singular stacks. Which is pretty interesting. Not that it's easy to break through. I mean, this, like this, for example, but it does show the overall sentiment there. Let's go. And ideally, I will not have to attack across the water when I'm going for these. Come on, come on, fuck. Alright, sweet. This is all encircled, so the should be going reasonably well. Right, so they have to move in here to attack. I don't think an attack across the river necessarily will make it there. But I could also be using you. I'll not use any of these. Another likely problematic target is going to be this rifle corps. Those units around Chula are not going to be too friendly. This has broken out, so let's work with these. And to be fair, I think besides that attack, I want to mostly use Hungarian forces to clear up the remainder of this pocket here. And I'm not in a hurry, so I can take my sweet time. After all, I only need to take Voronezh by end of October. To that end, what I'll do is I'll also just move across the river a significant portion of these guys while just staying here like this. So the purpose of this is that these guys can rather recover a little bit while I sweep on that area. And now I have a few units that can also at least get there. The only last part that I also want to take is these. So that this area has been cleared a little bit as well. This additional rail is pretty interesting. This did hold. Let me see a pretty weak unit here. The same, I guess, would apply for the cavalry. So we would at least have that going. This tank division is going to be the trickiest here. Obviously moving across the river is somewhat nice, but yeah, things are, let's see, 3.387, huh? Those are some interesting units. Just keep attacking until those guys surrender there. And the question then becomes, what unit am I going to use to take down these? They are not doing very well. These units also need to no, you cannot cross and attack like that, but they cannot do that either this way. Well, let's try. They're at 0. Alright, those are a very weak unit at this point anyway. Seems like. I was afraid of that. That tank division was quite frustrating. But for crying out loud, it seems like the problem persists mostly with the units down south, and then once you get it, I can really not do. For fuck's sake. I am really annoyed by this problem. Okay, now it's back. For freaking. There we go. Losses for the Soviets this turn 182,000. I mean, you also have to think about how long can the Soviets keep this up. Now 3.349. And funny that they can get a unit back and forth there. Guess I'll take this unit for a spin here to take all these hexes, because I was gonna move in here, so now it will cost quite a bit of additional movement points to go through here. But I'll put the depot there. I'll also use these. Interesting that they would still have quite a bit of units in here. I'm quite surprised. Other places. I think I can make some kind of encirclement in this area to snag these somewhat weaker units there. Maybe I can go around those guys. Let's start though with the rail. Oh, they destroyed that, or no, it just never got repaired, that. Sometimes I wonder why that button's even there. Interesting that they would also leave that empty, but then supposedly I cannot get in there with any of the troops. As much as I'd liked getting in there. Let's actually take a quick look at the metrics before we leave for this episode. 722 in terms of victory points, initiative, total men for the Soviets now pretty much as high as it was still like mid-November, or if you will, mid-July. So that's pretty interesting. I think total guns significantly down. Again, same as mid-November, or I guess mid-August. AFVs for the Soviets still around similar number. Aircraft below our number. Looking at fuel, we're stagnant because I think we're just not getting them anymore, but we'll see. Either way, I'm going to wrap things up. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll continue again in the next episode. Take care. See you then.